Alright, we're going to address a little bit of contract laws. The last video covered some of the DMV issues. I'm going to go ahead and start off with, it's sort of interesting. I picked this book up. It's Essentials of Business Law, 2nd edition. Len Young Smith, Richard A. Mann, Barry S. Robert. I haven't had time to look them up, see what they are. It's from, I think, in '84. Anyway, picked it up for $2. So, I come across the tort section in this book, and I only got back to page 100 so far. But I found something in here that was pretty interesting. It's consent, which just relates to being 16 years old, entering into a contract with the DMV. Okay. Now, in here, the consent says, if a person consents to conduct resulting in damage or harm done to his own person, property, economic interest, there is generally no liability for intentional inflictions of injury. Consent to an act is a willingness that it shall occur. So, the government sends you something, say, vehicle court send you something. You need to show up to court for this because you got stopped by a predator on the road. Okay? That's what they are. They're out there trying to make money. They're acting in a business manner. So they stop you and give you a ticket for, well, here in Pennsylvania, say there's a sign out there that says speed limit 35. I don't know what 35 is. On the white signs, they don't put miles per hour. So you go to the yellow signs, there's a real sharp bend, they clearly identify it. 35 miles an hour. So anyway, you go and get stopped for doing 40. 40 what? Kilometers per hour, belly bounces per hour. Speed limit, 40. It's ambiguous. I don't know what it means. But, so that would be consent. You don't respond back to that notice or contract that they sent you. This states that you consented to it by remaining silent. You have to raise issues. You cannot remain silent, or it's going to be assumed that you consented to it. We'll go down here to the other paragraph. Consent must be given by an individual with capacity to do so. Consent given by a minor, 16 years old, minor, maybe not. I don't know. We don't know what the lawful definition of an adult is, because you may be an adult at 5 years old, be either Superman or Superwoman, Wonder Woman, whatever. You may be an adult at 16. You can drive a 4,000-pound vehicle down the road. You may be an adult at 18. That's when you can go die for your country. And allegedly, that's when you can enter into contracts. But I made a contract with the DMV at 16. But I can't make contracts until I'm 18. Or is it 21? When you're old enough to smoke a cigarette and drink a beer by your own decisions. It don't make sense. So there's no one lawful age. Now, if you go back to Black's Law Dictionary and you look it up, and all the research that I've done, the lawful age is 21. You go back in the day, whatever, the parent gave everything to their oldest son at the age of 21. That's how it was. At 21, you were old enough to make all your own decisions. Not, well, you can make a decision at this age. You wonder why this country is so divided. Nobody even knows what age they become a man or an adult. And I will get to that in a minute. So, consent must be given by an individual with capacity to do so. Consent given by a minor, mentally incompetent, or intoxicated individual is invalid if he is not capable of understanding the nature, extent, probable consequences of the conduct to which he has consented. Again, this book was written in 1984. It hasn't changed except the internet twisting definitions. Again, we got Supreme Court justices. They don't even have a clue. They have no idea what a woman is. If that's not division, I don't know what is, people. So, I'm going to come back here. I'm not going to put this up too close. But, this is a certificate of live birth. Okay? And it was signed on May 5th, 1976. About 3 years after I was born. Okay? Now, the issue on this, when I go to my parents, created a name for me. And that name was in capital, lower. First letter, capital, lower. First letter, capital, lower. Your certificate of live birth is, what they use to get a birth certificate. That birth certificate is used to get a Social Security number. That Social Security number for the rest of your life is used to get employment, to be taxed, to buy homes, to buy cars. Everything you do is based off of the birth certificate or Social Security number. My certificate of live birth is upper and lowercase spelling. Somewhere between the certification of live birth, and it's funny because they tell you this is not used for legal authority. If it was not used for legal authority, how did it create a birth certificate? And who, between the time my parents created this contract, this is important, my parents created this contract for me because I was a minor, a baby. They created the name, upper and lower. When they went and got that birth certificate, which is a bond, it's on bond paper. I had the federal court judge clearly identify that for me. It's on bond paper. Somewhere between there and there, somebody made the decision, without my consent, without my parents' consent, to spell my name in all capital. Well, that's why it's on bond paper. So, my name's now in all capital letters for everything I do. Okay, that's fine. Your parents made a contract that had upper and lowercase letters. The birth certificate got created, and it's on all caps. And you got a Social Security card. Social Security number. All caps. I know all this because I had to file for short-term disability, which I'm still fighting. They denied me because I don't speak English. They denied me because I don't speak English. Yeah, that judge really gave me due process. He never even looked at the stuff. I was on video speaking English the same way I am right now. But I didn't speak English. But if I didn't speak English, I should have got it. But since the appeals court found that of the Social Security found I did speak English, everything else that this AL administrative law judge said was right, except for me not speaking English. It's all fraud. Anyway, that's it. I'm blessed because it's opened my eyes and taught me a lot. So you put your name from upper and lowercase to all capitals. And I'm raising with the courts and they cannot answer me. And I sent this certificate in. Certificate of live birth. And I asked them, who changed the spelling of my name? Okay. Did I, at the age of, for me, it was 8 days. 8 days old is when his paper was filled out and then it was filed at the registers. At 8 days old, how did I enter a contract with the state or the federal government. I was a minor. I was younger. If that's not deceit and that's not fraud from the get-go, I don't know what is. Then you can have a lot of people say, well, your parents did that. This is where I'm getting. Okay, yeah, my parents did that. My parents created the name. They filled out the paperwork. I can go to federal constitution. I'm going to go to Pennsylvania constitution on this one. All men are born equally free and independent. Okay? What age did I become a man? That's what I'm asking the courts. What age did I become lawfully able to enter contracts? Was it 8 days old? You know, if my parents entered the contract, this goes for everything from schools to everything. The parents doing this on a kid's behalf. When does the kid become adult age to enter their own contracts? Okay? Because Social Security has never come to me and said, hey, Mr. So-and-so, you're now 18 years old. Would you like to enter into your own Social Security number? Would you like to enter your own spelling of your name? You know, your parents made the contract with certificate of live birth that they used to get a birth certificate and they used to get Social Security. Hey, got it. So, that's my parents' contract. That's not mine. I'm 49 years old. When do I get to enter into my own contract? Hold on. They deceived me. At 16, they told I had to get a driver's license. I didn't have to, but that's, you know, what they say the lawful age is. Lawful age for a driver's license. Lawful age to enter a contract. But you can't enter a contract till you're 18. Or is it 21? I don't know. The government refuses to explain this. They're leaving it ambiguous. You can't have ambiguous laws, people. So, hey, excuse my dogs here. When am I of adult age to claim my own? Because everything I've created in my life has been off of what my parents created on a certificate of live birth. Not the bond paper birth certificate. They didn't create that. They sent the certificate of live birth in, and the certificate of live birth created that birth certificate and Social Security number. And they did it by fraud. They never informed my parents, because my parents would not have done that. Or any parents. I never did it for my kids. I didn't sign either one of their birth certificates or certificate of live birth. I refused to. Their mother's a different story. I didn't do it. But, yeah, so when are you of legal, lawful adult age? And why does the Social Security Department not come to you and say, hey, let's create a new contract because you're of adult age? They don't. They still use your minor estate, your minor, all your life. Okay? Yes, I know we can go down the road of straw man and all that stuff. I'm not going there. I'm simply asking the federal courts, federal government, where's my contract? Where's the contract of when I become an adult age? Again, 16, 18, 21, I don't know. Nobody can define when I have the right to make contracts for myself. When did I become adult age, and where is that contract with the Social Security Department? It's not going to be assumed that you can just continue to commit the fraud the rest of my life on something my parents gave me. Technically, am I still my parents' responsibility? I don't think so, but that's what the government's saying. Or, you know, you go down the road, is the government and your parent. That's Parent Pat's right. Either way, keeping it simple. The courts, once I sent this certificate of live birth in, silence. I don't know why they're silent. Maybe they're up to some dirty stuff. That's the government. That's what they do. Or they don't know how to answer me. And that's included on top of, you should have gave me your oath and bonds. Because y'all kept on acting on an all caps name. When I just proved to you, I didn't consent to that all caps. My parents may have, but when did I become lawful age to enter my own contracts? Am I still, listen, Everything you do, people, you buy a house, you buy a car, you go to, everything you do is on your parents' contract, not yours. Where is your contract giving you a new Social Security and the name that you choose for yourself? Not the name your parents gave you, or how the all cap name come along. Nobody knows. Nobody can answer that. I don't care what's on YouTube, what somebody over here tells me, somebody over here tells me. I directly am asking the courts. Show me this evidence. You want to continue to sit there and say my name's in all capital. I just proved to you it's not. That's the name my parents gave me. Is that the contract my parents made? Or did I enter that contract? Because you can't enter contracts with minors. And that contract is assumed to be with you all your life. You never become a man. You never become a man by the Constitution. All men are born equally free and independent. But when do you become that man? See, people, they got you. And I entered in of court record. Here's my name. Here's my birth name that my parents gave me. You know, it's right here. My birth name my parents gave me. You tell me how you got all cap names that you keep putting on the caption in my case, in my civil lawsuits. Or you can go criminal lawsuits. Where did that name come from? You either enter it into with a minor, or you're using the name that my parents created a contract. Now, when did I become adult age? You know, I go around and around on this, but it's simple questions. All men are created equal. Well, when did you become a man? And I don't need anybody to answer me. I need the government. I need these corrupt courts to say, hey, you're a man at this age. Perfectly fine. Where is my contract that I get to pick a new Social Security number? I never authorized the government to give me that Social Security number. I never authorized the government to assume that that's my number, because you're not a living man when you have to be registered by a number for the rest of my life. So that's where it goes back to consent. Consent on this, consent is assumed when you don't respond back. Okay, but it clearly says, consent must be given by an individual with capacity to do so. Consent given by a minor, mentally incompetent, intoxicated individual is invalid if he is not capable of understanding the nature, extent, probable consequences, or the conduct to which he is consenting. At 8 days old, I was a minor and mentally incompetent to enter any contract with the Social Security Department or for a birth certificate. And if my parents did it, again, going around, people, where's my right to enter into contracts? I'm still acting on my parents' contracts, not mine. I hope this stuff helps. I put in a lot of years defining words. Anybody that sits there and says words, the definitions don't mean, yes, they do. I proved that in the last one on Title 75 of the Vehicle Code of Pennsylvania. There's no fees. You don't have to pay fees to register your car to get license plate, which nobody knows what the heck a license plate is. You don't have to pay fees for that. They said in there, number 1, if you're the Commonwealth. Number 3, state and local authorities. Number 6, the states. The state is not the same as the Commonwealth, or they would have just said the state, not Commonwealth and state. But, you know, by the Constitution of the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania, not the state of Pennsylvania. And I know the states listed in the constitutions. But if you go back to the original constitutions, over the years they amended them with that word in there. And again, what was the definition of state back then to the state now? The state now is government agencies. Took me a long time to find that out. So, as a matter of fact, anybody can put down in the comments, if you're watching this video, if you have a different definition of state or not. But another thing that really gets on me, what is a law-abiding? What is law-abiding? The courts can't define it. What's law-abiding? A lot of people in this country are being hurt because something that they did. Oh, law-abiding. You got to be law-abiding if you want your Second Amendment rights. Well, first off, the government don't give you rights. Okay? You can look up City of Dallas versus Mitchell. It's a 1922. The government does not give you rights. You're born with them. They're inherited. You're born with them. So they can't take them away, but it's funny how everybody wants to sit here and use, well, if you're a law-abiding citizen. Get rid of the citizen, law-abiding man. What's law-abiding? I can't get anybody to give me that definition either. I can't find it in black laws. I can't find it anywhere. What is law-abiding? Does that mean somebody that maybe did something 20, 50 years ago? Or is that somebody that's in an actual breaking the law at the moment? You know, that's what I think it is. Somebody actually in the moment breaking the law. You're not acting law-abiding. So, yeah, if anybody has any lawful, constitutional court ruling of what law-abiding is, because the dictionaries can't define it either. So, but yeah, people, somewhere from your certificate of live birth to when your birth certificate was created, your name got changed without your consent. And your parents most likely didn't know neither. So, when do you become an adult? Man. A man. Alright. Have a good day.